Now we're going to go and look at some specific cost areas now. And the first one I'm going to look at is travel. So as an employee, you generally cannot claim any travel costs. You're not eligible. However, as a self-employed person, you may be able to claim some travel costs. The reason for this is that your place of work is generally either your home or a premises that you work from. You can claim for travel from your usual place of work to where you have to carry out the work. So for example, if you were an electrician or a plumber, you would probably work from home and you would travel each day to your different clients, and you can claim for that, the cost of that travel. What can you actually claim? Well, you can claim the actual cost. So that would be a bus fare, a train fare, or a taxi. Or if you're traveling by car, moped or bike, you can claim the number of business miles at a set rate. And that set rate is 45 pence for cars. That applies for the first 10,000 business miles in a tax year. It drops down to 25 pence after 10,000 miles. You can also claim 24 pence for most motorcycles and quite a generous 20 pence for bikes. I always think that one's quite generous as there isn't actually any related fuel cost there, but you can still claim the 20 pence. Now this simplified mileage rate is generally sufficient for most very small self-employed businesses. However, if you do a lot of travel, and that would be somebody perhaps like an electrician or a plumber, you may have a van or other vehicle that you use exclusively for business. If that's the case, then instead of claiming the mileage rate, you can claim the actual costs. And if it is a van or a motorcycle or an electric car, you can actually claim the full cost of the vehicle. It is a little bit complicated because if you later come to dispose of the vehicle, you would then have to bring the proceeds of that vehicle in as income into your business. So this is getting a bit complicated for a small business, and generally I would expect someone who was purchasing vehicles to use an accountant to assist them with the tax claim for this. However, where you're just doing the simplified mileage rate, then you should be able to manage your tax return yourself. And just a final point, if you have a vehicle that's used partly for business and partly privately, then you have to have an allocation of the private element of both the purchase price and the running costs of that vehicle. For a normal car, you can only claim a very small percentage of the original cost, and generally it's not worth it for a normal car. It's better just to use the set mileage rates for a normal car. Okay, we're now going to move on to another category that we call subsistence. Subsistence is basically providing yourself with food or drink in the course of your work. So an example of this would be if you need to eat or drink away from your regular place or places of work, and you can have multiple workplaces, regular workplaces, then you can claim for this. Note that this is very different to entertainment, which is not allowable for tax. So if you're entertaining clients, you cannot get a deduction for that. That is classed as a disallowable expense. Examples of allowable subsistence would be if you had to travel to see a client or make a delivery and you had to stop to buy yourself lunch or coffee in the course of carrying out that business, then you could claim for that cost. And I always say claim for the actual cost. Keep the receipts, or at the very least have it go through your business account, rather than some people claim a sort of set allowance for lunch, and I don't recommend that because it's very difficult to justify that with HMRC. So always keep receipts, or at least have your business claim for your sandwich or your coffee going through your business account. Similarly, if you have to stay overnight somewhere in the course of business, you can claim for those food and hotel costs. You cannot claim for your lunch every day at your normal place of work. And some people get a bit confused about this and think that they can. You can't do that. You can only claim where you're away. Now, if you happen to be traveling every day to different clients, then it may be that you can claim each day. It very much depends on your pattern of work.